In the disappointing downgrade of a sequel that isn't that bad, but it could have been so much more, comes a tie-in game that pales in comparison to the original, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen Decepticons. Enter a game that understandably decided to be a sequel to the first movie rather than the previous game, which kind of makes sense since most of the Autobots died in the first game. Despite having an utterly sick main theme, you'll come to quickly realize that instead of an open-world Grand Theft Auto clone, it's been downscaled to linear levels. And the only thing you'll go exploring for are upgrades and unlockables you can scan. So anyways, starting off as the Dorito-shaped Transformer with chicken legs, learn how to press the jump button, and then endure a common round of the Decepticons insulting each other. Then a proto-form randomly crash lands from the sky, and Starscream makes it there first because this is the Decepticons version. Anyways, after more tutorials, you scan 3 vehicles and pick one. You'll realize on the spot that you can't choose a flying vehicle, and you can't even change the colors of the vehicle. So you've got 3 options. Either a small fry, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, or Diabeto. They all don't look that appealing, but I guess we'll go with Diabeto, and maybe he'll lose some weight along the way. Aside from weapon customization, the game doesn't get much better. You'll come to realize that there are only 5 missions in the entire game that matter, and the rest of it is just filler. And they didn't even bother putting voice acting in the filler missions. Also, technically you can fly in the game as Starscream, but it looks more like Top Gun for the Nintendo DS than a Transformers game with controls that give you freedom. You'll go to each continent, minus Antarctica, and kill the Autobot of the region in a recycled manner. You run circles around them, they hide in an area like a fucking pussy, and you've gotta redirect the airstrike to hit them instead. There's literally no strategy whatsoever, and you, a rookie who got in on the party late and have next to no experience, eventually defeat Optimus Prime, and you're promoted to General of the Decepticon Army, while Megatron gets demoted. Yeah. So that's another weakness of this game compared to the first. You're literally a Larry Stew, and the designers have no concept of power scaling. A rookie defeats Optimus Prime because he can. Since you can't fly freely, and the levels are linear with rigid objectives, replay value goes down significantly. This game was made by the same studio as the predecessor, and they also reused many assets, so why they couldn't make a worthy sequel is beyond me. Like, imagine if we got open world spaces like Cairo, Shanghai, and Rome, and the other main places they went to in the movie, they're adapting. Also, the controls aren't as good. The driving and transforming mechanics are pretty stilted. And since you can't fly whatsoever as Create a Con 2, it really limits the playability. But as stated earlier, the game is serviceable as a game to play on a road trip, and it complements the Nintendo DS well enough. But compared to what we previously had, you have to wonder, what the hell happened? Starring Frank Welker as the voice of Megatron, and absolutely nobody else from the previous game whatsoever. And they don't sound as good as the voice actors in the predecessor either. Comes a disappointing sequel to an overachieving game like no other. Coming soon alongside the movie in June 2009. And just like last time, it could have used Linkin Park, but don't worry, I'll fix it for you.
Nothing will stop me from regaining my status as leader of the Decepticons.